Candidates for San Diego City Council District 9 are squaring off. They don't have many ideological differences. We'll look at how they are trying to set themselves apart. Hundreds of people are rescued in the desert along the U.S.-Mexico border every year, but not everyone makes it. A look at an initiative in Arizona that aims to reduce the number of people who die each year while trying to cross the border illegally. And a colossal mess at Trestles. What officials aim to do about it coming up. This is Evening Edition on KPBS. Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Maya Trabulsi. The death of a 3-day-old baby in Mira Mesa last week is highlighting problems with wait times on 911 calls and understaffing among San Diego police dispatchers. The boy was bitten on the head by the family dog. The San Diego Union Tribune reports his father called 911 twice and hung up each time after waiting around 30 seconds for a dispatcher. A national standard says those calls are supposed to be answered within 10 seconds. The baby was pronounced dead after his parents drove him to the hospital. San Diego police did not return calls from KPBS, but the UT reports there are 19 vacancies for 134 dispatcher positions, and dispatchers are required to work overtime. A man has pleaded not guilty to charges that he murdered his infant stepson 14 years ago. Tyree Jones was arraigned this afternoon on charges of homicide and felony child abuse causing death. He was ordered held without bail. His attorney says Jones has always cooperated with authorities in the investigation into the 2002 disappearance of Jahi Turner and looks forward to defending himself. Jones was arrested in North Carolina about a week ago. Authorities say new evidence led to the arrest, but have declined to give specifics. Today, San Diego police renewed their call for information to solve a 16-year-old murder case. Andrew Moore was a San Diego City College student when he was killed in his downtown apartment in September of 2000. His parents now offer a memorial scholarship in his name every year.
And we just hope every year that that something happens so that the Andy's murderer is identified. We want justice for Andy. That's what we want. That's what we need. And we think Andy deserves that.
There's a reward of $56,000 for information leading to the arrest and conviction of the killer. Surfers and swimmers in San Clemente are still dealing with more than choppy waves and strong rip currents. Monday's grim discovery of a dead whale still has people scratching their heads.
Authorities are trying to figure out what to do with the massive and rotting carcass of an adult gray whale at Lower Trestles, just south of San Clemente. The options are to cut the 40-foot carcass into smaller pieces before hauling it away in trucks, or to attempt to tow it by boat back out to sea. Professional surfer Kelly Slater took to Instagram to remind his followers that whale remains could attract more sharks to the area. He also jokes it might be a good summer to surf the wave pool. Some local surfers agree.
Seeing whales washed up here, it's not a good sign for sharks because it's easy prey and just attracts a lot of unwanted predators.
San Diego resident Thomas Hayes says the best way might be to let nature take its course.
Let it rot on the beach, let the birds eat it down. That's what would happen in Baja, but maybe we should do that. That's the natural way of things.
Officials say burial wouldn't work because the stretch of beach is mostly cobblestones. The decision of how to discard the dead whale may not be reached for a couple of days.
Voters in 5 eastern states are casting their ballots today in presidential primaries. Connecticut, Delaware, Maryland, Pennsylvania, and Rhode Island. Democrats are competing for 384 delegates. Republicans are fighting for 172. Frontrunners Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton are hoping to widen their leads and shake off their competitors for good. The 5 candidates for California's open Senate seat met for a debate in Stockton last night, tackling issues ranging from the economy to gridlock in Washington.
There are going to be things that we're never going to agree on, but there's going to be a lot of things that we can agree on, and I'm going to work to bring the people together to do what's in the best interest of the country.
I don't leave the table until we bring everybody together and get to a resolution that we need.
But I do work with liberals and conservatives, right-wingers and left-wingers, and I think I try to find the common ground between all of them.
If we're going to resolve divisions, we must understand that the source of division most often is government has become at the center of it. We can't always turn to government, and we can't always ask our neighbor to pay to solve our crisis.
Most people, they don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican. What they care about is they want a job, they want to protect their children and their homes, they want to retire with dignity.
The 5 Senate candidates will debate again right here in the KPBS studios 2 weeks from tonight. It's part of our California Counts coverage and will air live on May 10th at 7 p.m. here on KPBS television. We'll also simulcast it on the radio on 89.5 FM. The neighborhoods that make up San Diego's City Council District 9 have stark differences. Low-income residents in City Heights and South Crest share their council member with upper-middle-class residents in Kensington and the College area. The 4 Democrats running for the seat aren't as distinctive. KPBS reporter Megan Burks looks at how they're trying to set themselves apart in advance of the June primary.
I asked Ricardo Flores to pick a meaningful spot for his interview. He chose Park de la Cruz in City Heights. The grassy stretch we're walking on will soon become a concrete skate park.
It's a proud moment to be able to say that you're going to put some piece of infrastructure in their community.
Flores helped to make the skate park a reality while working as Councilwoman Marty Emerald's chief of staff in District 9.
He's the one who goes out and builds consensus. He's the one who does the behind-the-scenes work.
Emerald's retiring. Flores previously worked for Congresswoman Susan Davis. His opponents have used his resume to call him the establishment candidate.
I'll say this. The Labor Council didn't go with me. That's the political establishment. The Democratic Party, even though I've been a member of the Democratic Party my whole life and actually somebody that's been a part of the Democratic Party for years, they didn't go with me. If they're talking about the men and women that work at the city, I don't think they're establishment. I think they are what they are. They're workers.
The San Diego County Democratic Party did not endorse anyone in this race. Flores has the backing of the City Employees Union and Police and Firefighter Associations. The big-ticket labor endorsement from the San Diego and Imperial Counties Labor Council went to candidate Sarah Saez. Flores says it's his track record that will win him the seat and help him to accomplish bigger things in office, like passing a property tax increase to fund fire stations.
For me, it's about showing results in the community first. If we can build your parks, if we could ensure that you're safe in your neighborhoods, if we can ensure that your roads are being taken for accounted for in terms of the growth that we're projecting, I think that's the most important piece. I don't think people have felt that way.
We can build parks, we can do all these improvements, but if you have 2 to 3 jobs, if you're working all day long, you can't even help your kids with homework, how are you supposed to enjoy those parks?
I meet Saez at her campaign office in City Heights. It's in a building she says is the heart of San Diego's anti-establishment.
This is the San Diego and Imperial County Labor Council building, and so much organizing, amazing organizing has happened inside this building over the last 4 decades.
Down the hall is United Taxi Workers of San Diego. Saez led the campaign to open the local taxi market and pave economic inroads for immigrant cab drivers. Flores helped his boss Emerald translate that cause into policy.
It's been several years in the making.
Saez and Flores agree on other things too, including the need for denser development to fix the district's housing problems. But Saez also sees the solution through a wider lens.
Things are connected. So if people start making $15 an hour, if people can raise themselves out of poverty, they're going to be able to buy more. It's going to boost our local economy. Our sales tax revenue is going to be going up, which sales tax revenue is one of the ways that we pay for these things.
Oh, the pride of City Heights, Sarah.
Saez supports a higher minimum wage and rent control. Though it didn't make it into her platform statement, candidate Georgette Gomez also sees rent control as a potential solution to the city's housing affordability crisis.
For me, all the tools that are available should be looked at for San Diego, and we need to look beyond of what we currently are using, because we still have an issue.
That includes land banking, amassing parcels of land so they're shovel-ready for developers willing to build affordable homes. Gomez says she's worked with developers as associate director of the Environmental Health Coalition. The nonprofit helped residents shape the Mercado mixed-use development in Barrio Logan. Gomez says she wants to do the same for District 9. She's standing in front of one of the many vacant lots in District 9 that's ripe for development.
People are tired of seeing just liquor stores coming in here or smoke shops. They want to see something different.
Gomez also wants to see city leaders shift priorities.
They continue to be responsive on the stadium issue. They continue to be responsive to just, to the very few things that aren't lifting people's quality of life, aren't investing in communities that have been historically neglected. My entire life is about that, is trying to shift the focus to these communities.
We have to focus on public transportation.
Family law attorney Araceli Martinez is also seeking the seat. She lacks high-profile endorsements and donations, and she says that sets her apart from the so-called establishment.
I know what needs to get done, and then my heart is in it.
That line the candidates have been drawing between the establishment and anti-establishment, it's easy shorthand in debates. But when District 9 voters head to the ballot box, their decision is this: the candidate who can get results within a system that hasn't always served them, or a candidate who wants to change that system altogether. Megan Burks, KPBS News.
And video journalist Katie Shulev helped produce that story. You can find all our election coverage online at kpbs.org/election. San Diego home prices outpaced most of the country in February. The latest housing report from Standard & Poor's finds residents' values increased 6.4% in 1 year. That's good news for current homeowners, but it's tough for San Diegans trying to buy or rent. Alan Nevin is the economic research director at local consulting firm Expera Group, and he says more apartment housing would increase supply and bring down costs.
What we need to do is increase the density. We have far too low density in this county, so we need to increase the density, particularly in transit-oriented developments, anywhere near the trolley, anywhere near major bus lines.
Nevin expects home prices to continue growing, especially along coastal areas. Los Angeles was the only market to see prices rise faster than San Diego. A U.S. congressman from California is pushing for the construction of more water storage in the state. Tom McClintock says the current water management system and infrastructure is not sufficient to support the state's water needs. Federal and state water managers send millions of gallons of water out to the ocean each year to comply with stringent environmental protection laws and flood safety regulations.
Droughts are nature's fault. They happen. Water shortages are our fault. We haven't built a major reservoir over 1 million acre-feet of storage since the New Melones was completed in 1969. Meanwhile, the state's population has nearly doubled.
And McClintock says because the U.S. Congress would need to act in order to change the way water is managed in the state. Many questions have been raised about the safety of California's natural gas storage system after a months-long gas leak north of Los Angeles. Today, lawmakers, environmentalists, and oil industry representatives gathered for a hearing in Sacramento. The leak displaced more than 2,000 families in the Porter Ranch area.
I think it appears that it's an example of a developer who didn't follow the rules. The California Environmental Quality Act requires all kinds of disclosure. There's some indication that there wasn't the appropriate disclosure. And for those of us who have been trying to defend that act from constant attack by the development community in the Capitol, it's just sort of confirms why we need to protect that act.
Today's hearing included an update on safety regulations. A bill for new rules is now making its way through the legislature. Californians will get a break in the excise tax on gasoline starting in July. Now, state transportation officials are trying to come up with a new plan to pay for roads and other infrastructure. They're proposing new diesel and gas taxes and a yearly vehicle ownership fee. They say it would cost drivers 25 cents a day and raise $3.7 billion a year. But after a recent audit found inefficiencies at Caltrans, one state lawmaker says new taxes would be throwing good money after bad.
We cannot continue to chase the high cost of Caltrans by trying to tax people more, especially people who are just trying to get to work.
We have the largest system with the greatest demand, and we have to deliver the most for the most people.
Governor Jerry Brown is expected to talk about paying for transportation improvements during his budget revise next month. The State Assembly has voted to ban smoking on all Cal State and community college campuses by 2018. From our North County Bureau, KPBS health reporter Kenny Goldberg tells us most San Diego schools have already done so.
Mesa was the first community college in San Diego to go smoke-free in 2007. Since then, all community colleges in the county have banned smoking. Cal State San Marcos is the only local university that still allows smoking on campus. Critics say college students are adults and should be allowed to make their own decisions. But Deborah Kelly with the American Lung Association doesn't see things that way.
It's so important to protect these young adults because they are the ones who are really being heavily targeted by the tobacco industry, and college campuses can be a safe haven for them.
Under the Assembly bill, electronic cigarettes would also be banned on community college and Cal State campuses. The measure now moves on to the state Senate. Kenny Goldberg, KPBS News.
The Border Patrol says it has rescued more than 300 people trying to cross the Arizona desert this year, and the numbers are expected to go up as temperatures rise this summer. From our Fronteras partner Cronkite News, Chloe Nordquist tells us about an initiative to save more lives.
As a helicopter buzzed through the desert sky, Border Patrol agents demonstrated a rescue of a migrant stranded in the deserts.
Our agency has seen the need to address the issues of border deaths, obviously, with an attempt to reduce to zero, and because one death is way too many.
Search and rescue volunteers like Vicente Rodriguez agree.
The issues here is the number of deaths, which is one of the biggest things that we look at.
The Border Patrol recently added 5 solar-powered phones to rescue beacons. The beacons have a button for someone in distress to push for help.
With the Tucson sector, we've seen a decrease in deaths, and we like to attribute that success because of the rescue beacon deployments.
Border Patrol now collaborates with local agencies to respond to 911 calls.
About 70% of the calls that we get in this office are people that realize that the risk, if they continue, they're going to perish.
The Tucson area Border Patrol completed nearly 800 rescues in 2015, but for some, it's too late. Deadly temperatures, drug smugglers, and wildlife are just some of the dangers migrants face when crossing the border.
It always seems to be trending towards having more and more decedents found in the desert.
The missing migrant team was put together earlier this year to help families find loved ones who disappeared trying to cross illegally. The goal, educate people about the dangers. The hope some will think twice before risking their lives to cross the border. In Tucson, Chloe Nordquist, Cronkite News.
We had sunny skies and weaker winds today in San Diego. A beach hazard has been issued until 8 o'clock tonight. Steph Davis says some small showers are heading our way this week, and that's in tonight's KPBS Weather Report.
Shaping up to be a beautiful day across the San Diego area. We're looking at dry weather with sunshine and comfortably mild temperatures. Now you'll notice off to the north we already have some clouds and showers arriving across Northern California, but the bulk of the action is remaining to the north of San Diego. So taking a closer look around our area, satellite and radar remaining fairly quiet out there, and we do expect a quiet night as well. For Borrego Springs tonight, just a couple of patchy clouds. Your overnight low is 51 degrees, 31 and dry in Mount Laguna. 39 tonight in Ramona, around 40 in Alpine. Will drop to the upper 40s tonight in Oceanside, 57 and quiet in San Diego. Now the National Weather Service has issued a beach hazard statement in effect until 8 o'clock tonight. We do have the enhanced risk for strong rip currents and rough surf. On land, weather looking good, but if you are heading to the beach, definitely want to exercise caution as we do have that beach hazard statement in effect until 8 o'clock tonight. Looking ahead to tomorrow, those showers will continue to advance south, bringing some wet weather across much of California. However, Southern California for now still going to remain dry, though that will change as we look ahead to the day on Thursday. Here's a look at your 5-day outlook for the coast. Partial sunshine for Wednesday, high 70. Those clouds and showers arrive for the day on Thursday with highs in the upper 60s. We'll dry things out Friday. Mostly sunny skies return. Cloudy and 72 Saturday. Sunny and beautiful for the day on Sunday. Your 5-day outlook inland showing partly sunny skies for the midweek Wednesday with highs near 70 degrees. Those clouds and showers advance on Thursday. Your high is 67. Mostly sunny Friday. Daytime high 72. Mostly cloudy Saturday. And then Sunday looks good with clouds and sun and temperatures in the mid 70s. 5-day outlook for the mountains. Partly sunny and chilly on Wednesday. Your high is only 56 degrees. Cold with a shower on Thursday. Highs struggle to break out of the 40s, though temperatures will quickly rebound Friday. And then for the weekend, we're back into the mid 60s. Showing your 5-day outlooks for the deserts. Partial sunshine, 85 on Wednesday. Cooler on Thursday. Your high is 76 degrees. Warmer with a chance for a shower Friday. Abundant sunshine for the weekend Saturday and Sunday with our daytime highs around 90 degrees. Steph Davis, KPBS News.
I'm Judy Woodruff. On the next news hour, another big primary day. Voters in 5 states head to the polls. That's Tuesday on the PBS News Hour.
Every year since 1897, runners have tackled the grueling 20-plus mile run known as the Boston Marathon. WGBH in Boston is commemorating the race by releasing 26.2 videos about it, one for each mile. Here's the first video in the series, Mile 1, The Great Unknown.
I think the marathon distance is a distance that you have to respect. It's a distance that you can't go into without preparation, or it's going to come back and it's going to bite you.
You really never know on any given day how you're going to feel. And I'm always, just hopeful that when I hit the halfway point, I feel really good. I still have a lot of energy. But I do worry.
It could be a 5 mile or 8 miles, 15 miles. There's always that, oh my God, am I going to be able to finish this?
I didn't know what to think. I was going into the unknown. I thought I was going to be arrested for sure.
I remember very vividly thinking, this is the best my nipples are going to feel all day.
Before they're shorn from your chest?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, he has a problem with that. Not nervous at the starting line, more mildly anxious, I've only run one marathon before, so there was still, the longest I had run was 21 miles, so I was still thinking, okay, I ran 21 miles a month ago or so. Can I even get 26.2 in? Can I run 5 miles longer than I ever have in my whole life? And how is this whole thing going to go?
Jeffrey Mutai ran 2:03 one year and he dropped out the next year. And even the most trained athletes still don't know what's going to happen at the end of the race.
Once you're standing at the line, you don't know how the day's going to unfold. That's why we run the race.
It's a quest, and it's an amazing quest to finish.
In your mind, you're going to finish, and you just want to focus on that finish line and take it 1 mile at a time. And Yeah.
And you can see more of the 2016 Boston Marathon Project on the WGBH News website. That's at WGBHnews.org. And of course, San Diego has its own marathon that's coming up in June. And let's recap tonight's top stories. The death of a 3-day-old baby in Mira Mesa last week is highlighting problems with wait times on 911 calls and understaffing among San Diego police dispatchers. The boy was bitten on the head by the family dog. The San Diego Union Tribune reports his father called 911 twice and hung up each time after waiting around 30 seconds for a dispatcher. A national standard says those calls are supposed to be answered within 10 seconds. And we will have much more on this story tomorrow on KPBS Midday Edition. We'll be talking to Michael Zuquette. He is the general manager of the union representing the dispatchers. A not guilty plea was entered today in the disappearance of a San Diego toddler 14 years ago. 2-year-old Jahi Turner vanished in 2002. His stepfather, Tyree Jones, is now accused of murder and child abuse. So far, prosecutors have not revealed the evidence that led to his arrest. And as always, you can find tonight's stories on our website. That's at kpbs.org/evening edition. Thanks for joining us. From all of us here at KPBS, thanks for watching. Have a great evening.